Hi, guys, and thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel about personal finance, where we learn how to make more money, save more money, and invest more money, and just getting rich in general. And today's video is part 3 on the ultimate list of people who achieved great success after the age of 40. And I've decided to make these videos because the media really push the message of young, successful entrepreneurs. And I really wanted to show a different side of success, the success in later age. And in the first and second part of this list, I named a great list of authors, actors, fast food moguls, retail moguls, businessmen who just opened their businesses after the age of 40, 50, and sometimes 60 and achieved great success. And today's list is all about tech entrepreneurs who made billions in technology, and they worth billions, and they sold companies for millions and billions. All except of one, the lady you see on your screen, Trini Woodall. She is a TV persona. She had a fashion makeover TV show with her co-host Susanna, and they had few seasons aired on America, so you might be familiar with her. But she's British, and she admits that she was a late bloomer and late for everything. She started her career at the age of 32. She became a fashion journalist, and she was the last one to get married, and she had her first child when she was 40. So she was a classic late bloomer, and she achieved her biggest success when she was 37. I know it's not 40, but wait for it, because this story is just getting better. And so at the age of 37, she had her show, What Not to Wear, together with Susanna, and it was very successful. And then after more than a decade, the show was canceled, and she candidly admits that this show was taken away from her, and she found herself living in an apartment she could not afford anymore. She had to move in with friends. She had to sew clothes, and then she wanted to reinvent herself and open a makeup company. And during that time, she was about in her early 50s. And during that time, her ex-husband, the father of her only child, died in tragic circumstances. And she was really left with nothing. And she started the company, and she said that she ordered prototypes from this manufacturer, and another prototype came back, and she wasn't satisfied with it. And it took a long time for her to start the company with very little money, and she had to raise money from investors. But there she is now, owning a company, a makeup company, with over 75 employees, and she's on her way to success. And she started that business when she was 50. So I think it's a great story. Look her on Instagram and YouTube. She's a great inspiration, and that story had to be told. And let's get right into the tech entrepreneurs list. First one is Robert Noyce, and he's not a household name as Steve Jobs or Bill Gates, but he's one of the founders of Silicon Valley. He founded his first company, Fairchild Semiconductors, when he was 30, which was the first successful company in Silicon Valley. And when he was 41, he founded one of the largest companies in the world, Intel. And in his life, he was called Thomas Edison and Henry Ford of Silicon Valley, because he was both an inventor and a businessman. And he was a true visionary, a risk taker, and the inventor of the integrated circuit. Next up is Charles Flint, and his story surprised me too, because he founded IBM in 1911, and that's over 100 years ago. And I thought this company was founded in the 60s or 70s. of the last century, because when the all the great big technology companies were founded, of course in the beginning it had a different name. It was called the Tabulating Machine Company, and Flint founded it when he was 61, and 23 years later it was rebranded as IBM. The next story is simply insane. This entrepreneur built two tech companies, both of them when he was over 40, and one company was sold for over $10 billion, and the second worth today more than $40 billion. So, ladies and gentlemen, meet Dave Duffield. He started his career at IBM, and when he was 46, he founded his startup, PeopleSoft, that provided human resource management systems. Since 2003, the software giant Oracle tried to acquire PeopleSoft, and the acquisition was finalized 2 years later for approximately $10.3 billion. Duffield didn't stop there, and 2 months after the acquisition, when he was 64, he founded another company, Workday, which is publicly traded in the New York Stock Exchange. Its market cap sits at $43.5 billion, and Forbes estimated Duffield's net worth at $11.1 billion. Next on the list is Robin Chase, and she co-founded the car-sharing company Zipcar when she was 42. And after 13 years, this company was acquired by Avis for approximately $500 million. John Wernock was 40 when he co-founded Adobe from his garage. The company was named after the Adobe Creek, which ran behind his house, and the logo was designed by his wife. 2 years after, Steve Jobs attempted to buy the company for $5 million, but Wernock wasn't willing to sell. And after the investors put a little pressure on him, he agreed to sell Jobs 19% of his company. And today, the company is worth $221 billion. Next is another beautiful Silicon Valley story of Julie Wainwright. She was the CEO of Pets.com, one of the shortest-lived public companies. The company closed, and later Wainwright opened up about the experience and said, "It failed and I became short of a parish. I was the dumbest person in the valley. It was a little tough." 11 years later, when Wainwright was 53, she founded The Real, an online marketplace for authenticated luxury goods. She took the company from zero to its current valuation of over $1.5 billion in 9 years. Bill Porter was called by CNN the forefather of online trading, and he co-founded E-Trade when he was 52. He met his partner Bernie Newcomb at a party, and Newcomb just bought the Apple II PC, and he had this idea that the PC could be used for buying and selling stocks. So the first online trade was made by a dentist in Michigan, and E-Trade current valuation sits just under $11.7 billion. After graduation, Linda Weinman opened 2 retail stores. Then she was doing animation and special effects as a freelancer for movies like RoboCop 2 and Star Wars: The Final Frontier. Weinman was also very, very interested in computers, and she learned how to use the Apple II computer that her boyfriend bought by reading the manual. She also taught graphic design and wrote several design books, so she wasn't at all from the tech space. And in 1995, when she was 40, she co-founded lynda.com, which is an online software training website. Lynda.com survived the dot-com bubble, and 10 years later, it was sold to LinkedIn for an insane amount of $1.5 billion. Jim Kimsey has a beautiful story. Not only he started his tech company and achieved great success after the age of 40, he is also one of those guys who weren't related to tech at all. So he spent his 20s in the military, and after almost a decade, he opened a successful bar in downtown Washington. And he's in his 30s. He opened a few bars, and that was his main business. When he was 44, he was brought in as a manufacturing consultant for a failing company called Control Video Corporation by a friend from West Point Academy, who was investor in that failing company. That was Kimsey's foothold in the tech field, and 2 years later, when he was 46, he co-founded an online service company called Quantum Computer Services, which was later recognized as AOL. Thomas Siebel was 54 when he sold his company and became a millionaire. He started his career at Oracle, where he held a number of management positions. He then went on to manage another smaller tech company for 2 years. And after that, when he was 41, he founded a software company named Siebel Systems. And this company wasn't just another tech company. It was founded in 93, and 6 years later, in 99, it was the fastest growing tech company in the United States with 8,000 employees in 32 countries and annual revenue greater than $2 billion before it was sold to Oracle for $5.8 billion. Thank you guys for watching all the way to the end of the video. That was the third and last part in the ultimate list of people who became very successful over the age of 40. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video and have a great day.